Hi, we're still on. It is field service office hours. I'm just going to give a minute for people to join. I didn't send an email out to everybody letting them know we're still on. Um, 2 weeks ago, the recurring meeting ended in Zoom, and so I extended the recurring, and I hoped that it would send a notice to everybody, but I didn't follow up with another email. So if we have people today, awesome. If we don't, I'll send an email and maybe next week will be okay. Actually, let's look ahead to the next couple of weeks because the holiday seasons are upon us. And maybe my email to the broader group will be a little bit different. So next week, I do have a bit of a conflict on the 16th. And I was still on for the 23rd. So I still had an expectation that I would be presenting on the 23rd, but on the 30th, I canceled it. So actually, that's not true. I'm looking at my Zoom meetings. Let's look at this. Edit the entire series. I think I canceled the 23rd and the 30th. So if I do anything, it will be impromptu for anybody who might need something specifically. And let's look at the meeting schedule. Hold on. Yes, the last office hours will be the 16th, except I've got a 30-minute conflict. So I don't know if that conflict is solidified yet, because again, it's the holiday season is upon us, and we're now at that phase where people are starting to say, you know what, I think we're going to have to talk about this in the new year. So we'll be on next week, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll see you all back on January 16th. So one more next week, and then January 6th, we'll be back. So that's a little bit of administration. Oh, hey, Marsha, I was just kind of talking to the recording to discuss what is happening for the rest of the year for these office hours.
Hey, Leanne.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, I see it's just you and me, so you're just recording it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just recording it and I will post it so that other people can chime in
Hmm.
if they need to. But I thought I was going to go through, somebody had a question in the Trailblazer community about how they scheduled an appointment, but it wasn't in the right time zone context. So I asked how they were scheduling, because if they were just doing it by creating a record in Salesforce, like new service appointment, heaven
Hmm.
forbid, that could be the reason why the time zone isn't working. So I thought I would just do, scheduling basics, taking time zones into considerations, and why the level of effort for setting up the service territories and the operating hours in each time zone that you perform work in is really important. So I thought I would talk about
Yeah.
that today. What do you think?
A little bit with my headset.
Oh, there
Um,
you are. Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
now you can hear me well.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely would like to know more, like, what they were trying to do. That will give us the clue as to where the issue lies, right? To help them
Yeah,
better because it's pretty time zone. And yeah, like where they are, how are their
exactly.
resources set up, right? That's also going
Yeah,
to play a role.
totally. Yeah. So I did not hear back, or at least let me just verify. Yeah, I did not see an updated, nope, no updated comments. So we
Hmm.
will see. Yeah. So let's just go through what setting it up looks like
Hmm.
properly, and then we'll take it from there. If they chime in, then we can troubleshoot further. So let's share my screen. And I'm going to start with using the field service admin app and
Mhm.
walk through all of the tabs because sort of this is the way that I like to make sure that my scheduling reference data is up to date. I follow these tabs along the top. Well, really it's just these first two to start and then we'll do the service resources. So
Yeah.
what we need to do is we need to make sure that we've got all of our service territories created. One thing to consider is that every single territory requires an operating hour. Now, how do we structure our service territories? Let's open up the dispatcher console. Oh, not settings, just this one. Because some people operate their or set up their territories by geography. We cover these 20
Mm.
zip codes or these 2000 zip codes. Another one is, oh, I don't really have service territories. I service all of North America and we fly to service our customers. Another one could be, well, we are, East Coast and West Coast, and then they give me some sort of map and they say, this is about how we structure it. We've got a West Coast, a Northeast, a Southeast, a Central, and then a East, Northeast, right? So they
Yeah.
they've split it up that way. The From a scheduling time zone perspective, we must have a territory designated to the time zone that you operate in. So whether or not we create a hierarchy of, let's just create a time zone, a service territory time zone as the parent, and then all of the children time like territories can fall underneath it, however you structure your business. And then maybe that's the way that we structure it. Maybe we also could create polygons that are drawn um, for the territories, and that way, when a service appointment or a work order is created and that zip code matches, then I can assign the appropriate territory to it. How have you decided how to create territories? What tips do you have?
I actually take the approach of definitely like the granularity, the minimum level of granularity that we would need is at the time zone level. But
Hmm.
also, do the territories need to be geographical, or do there is a functional aspect to it as well, right? So, for
Like a
example,
business grouping or something?
something like that. And also, do they have external contractors? Probably they might result into a territory of their own. So how can those be structured, right? Polygons is a great feature, but for customers who are across US, it becomes a problem because there is a limitation in terms of how many polygons you can have, right?
Mhm.
So there is that too. But yeah, the minimum granularity that for those customers I start with is definitely stay at the time zone level. And if these are new customers,
Mhm.
I advise stay at this level, see how you feel. Anyway, strategy is something which is iterative. Iterating through it, and then you find your sweet spot as to how things are, and plus also how what's the what's the right term for it, like how many technicians you're expecting in the area. Is it a lot,
Mm.
right? Should I be
Mhm.
breaking it down? Is it a rural area? Probably I can expand it. So there are so many aspects related to territories, but yeah, from the context of our topic, definitely like at least stay at the time zone levels, because if you have your territories across time zones, then you are just not setting it up right.
Right. And actually, I don't even think this is the right time zone, right? Isn't Denver in central time zone? Right. So the mountain time is probably over here too. So
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
yeah,
creating as a implementer, creating a portfolio of time zone polygons would be valuable to have in your arsenal or toolkit to simplify the implementation of customers. The other suggestion is, hey, Salesforce Go, we would love it if you had this as part of your package. We would appreciate it so much.
I
That
get
way,
it a lot, right? And it's like, it's like there are map layers which can feed into, like we ran across one use case where we tried to pull it from government sponsored data, right? Governments, they
mm,
publish what's there in which codes, and what are the physical polygons that lie within a city. So you patch it with that data, but
right,
then field service, like in itself, cannot reads that much information, and it's a mess, but
too
maps does it
much.
beautifully. But I think that's
Yes,
where the whole product is.
correct.
Why it exists in first place, right?
Yep, yep, exactly. Okay. So yeah, lots to unpack there, but this is a very important component. Oh, hey, Ben. Hey, Lisa. This is a very important component of your first field service implementation, or when you are setting up field service and you do want to automate for those, like the time zone. It's very, very important. Now, do you need to create a polygon for every time zone? No, but you must at least have a service territory for each time zone that you service, because you will need an operating hours for that time zone. So the field availability in San Francisco is based in Pacific. The Tony Stark, where's my Stark East, it's based off of Eastern operating hours. Now, my user is, am I Eastern or am I, let's see. Okay, so I'm in Eastern, okay? I'm going to look at my dispatcher console and take a look. Oh, I killed it. It's over here. Yeah. And take a look at the appointments that I have in the on the console for San Francisco, right? So let's hit today. Here I here I am. It is This is the time right now in San Francisco. This is the time right now in Eastern Standard Time, right? So we've got, oh, that's not the right button, right? So Eastern Time, Pacific Time. So this, whatever it is now, it shows up this way. I'm going to drag and drop this to Gloria Barnes, and we are scheduling it for, come on, baby. It'll be like 12:20-ish, right? So 12:30, and this is 12:30 Pacific time. Let's go take a look at our field service settings and take a look. So I am a user that's in Eastern time, and I dragged and dropped it on the dispatcher console to San Francisco. So it is scheduled in the context of Pacific time zone. So it's 12:30 Pacific time, which is 3:15 my time right now, right? So 3:30. If I look at field service settings and I go to the dispatcher console UI, I can show the local time in the Gantt tooltip, but only if the Gantt chart time zone is on the user time zone. So let's toggle this and see what the difference between that setting is and this setting is. This is a global setting. So if you had a business unit that said, oh, I need to see it in the territory time zone, and you have another business unit that's like, no, 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 we need to see it in the user time zone, you can't. You must decide. In fact, don't even tell them it's possible. You make the choice and you tell them what it is, right? Based off of what you think makes sense. So what will happen is it will be one long line. So I will refresh my Gantt. and we'll see one long line. I think I'm going to see one long line. Yes, one long line. And so this is my East Coast. So I'm scheduling it for 3:30 Eastern. But now if you notice, I have the local start time here as well. So if you are running a global dispatch office that's supporting multiple territories, this might be the best approach for you because it's 3:30 right now, but it means 12:30 local time. You might need to know both times really easily, really quickly. Easily, quickly, yeah. Here's the other nuance that we have. The service appointment record will always be displayed in your locale. So again, my user is in Eastern time. If somebody called me and said, "Oh, I thought you said that my appointment was at 12:30." Yeah, it's at 12:30 Pacific, but I'm sitting here in Eastern, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to be like, "Oh my God, that's totally wrong. I have to change this and I have to make this 12:30 because it thinks I think I'm saying this is Pacific time. That's wrong, right? Because now it's 12:30 Eastern time, and where it's going to show up on the Gantt, look what it showed up on the Gantt. I'm late to this appointment. This kills everybody in field service. They don't understand, or even just in Salesforce, they just don't understand how dynamic the UTC date time field really is. So implementers have to consider creating a customization that has local scheduled start, local scheduled end. Maybe you also need local actual start and local actual end as well, because and then it's actually a text field. If you have a requirement as well to send a text message or an email that embeds, "Hey, customer, thank you very much for booking with us. Your arrival time is 12:30 Pacific time." This gets embedded as the UTC date time code. It's not, no one can make sense of it. I have no idea what it means, but it's really long. There's a Z, Zulu time at the end. It's a code. And that's what gets merged onto emails and SMS messages. So if there is a requirement to share with the end customer, consider an app exchange. I don't know. We'll just type this in and look at local. I think it's called local time. Yes. I like local time. The person who built this, yes, there is a cost. Just call, like, put in a request. This is not, this is list price, right? They will build you a formula for the service appointment. And this is the local time. And this is the nice way of doing this. It's a format. So you can convert this and you can take it into context of the service territory operating hours as opposed to, I mean, or we could just do it from the service appointment. They do this. There's like an underlying data model that he's built where it's referencing if you're in this zip code, you're in this service territory. So, sorry, you're in this time zone. So we can bypass the whole field service piece and just do it based off of his data model, or we can build it ourselves and drive it from the service territory because that's the way that it gets scheduled. So we might as well do it from the service territory. That's how I would design it if I did it custom. So option one is you buy a package. Option two is you build something custom to convert that time into a date time with the time zone code added to it. And then no one will ever be confused again. The annoying thing is there are six fields that we would need to consider. I'm going to move this back. Yeah, go ahead, Varsha, jump in. Oh, I can't hear you. Are you speaking?
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was
No,
saying
you're
there
good.
is also an unofficial SF package,
Ooh.
which gives you a bunch of actions that, if say for example you have to loop, there, you want to do date and time conversions, you just use it and it's amazing. So it's like a pack that comes. You can use what you like, but if anybody is building it, they usually have
Oh
different
my
use
gosh.
cases, right?
What is it? What's it called?
Actions flow base pack, something like that. I can look it up and share. But one of the actions that it gives is you give it a time zone and you give it the UTC time, and it converts the time in the time zone that you want. So all you are then doing is, yes, have those fields, but capture the information through it. So it's like a non-paid version, but this is an unofficial
Are
package.
you serious? I
Yeah.
I install this in every single implementation. I didn't even know that was part of it. Let's just see what version I have installed. Yes, I totally agree with you. Flow-based packs. It sounds like they put it on the App Exchange too, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Good for
I
them.
love it. Like the moment I got to know about them,
I
they have some
know.
really good ones there. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Oh, did I not install it here? I must have. I have data table. Yes, here we go. We're getting into some more stuff. That's the screen flow components base pack, but there was one more. There's two packets that come with it.
Yeah. One is the action pack, and then the second one is the flow pack.
Yeah, and you need both.
You need both. Yeah.
Okay, where's the action?
And then it
Hello?
also comes with a permission set. So you need to assign the permission set to yourself.
I'm missing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, yeah, there it is. Maybe that's what I'm missing on my org, why I haven't been able to play with it because I never assigned that perm set. Good one.
Yeah.
So you're saying that there's something in here that does it?
There is a action, something about time. I don't recall the exact action, but yeah, you just use it, and then you can use it in a flow, and you can give it, where to read the time zone, where to uh, return the time that is converted.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's go through one more thing. That's the dispatcher console, okay? So if I needed to reschedule this, again, I am in Eastern time. So when I use the book appointment, I know that there's feelings towards the book appointment global action. However, I always test to make sure that I'm using it and that the schedule results apply because if it works here, then I'm good. And then I can use the schedule service API if I want to, right? But if this works, then everything is going to work. We'll see. It's like this needs an afternoon tea. I think it's because I've got what's the rule I have on here? Time rules and match skills. Okay, so maintenance. We'll see what the time rule is. I should have that resolved because of the um I'm going to remove this for now. And I'm going to check the service appointment. Well, let's create a new service appointment. Let's just press book appointment from the work order and see what happens. Okay. So we're going to abandon the first experiment and do a second one to again prove that if if I'm maybe a call center agent and I'm getting a call and I want to book the appointment in real time, I could um, present slots. So let's go back because I wanted to make sure that I chose the right thing. Territory, none. Okay. If the territory is none, then we're SOL. We're not scheduling in the context of any time zone. This, having it as none, will only work if you have your polygons set up. So, I mean, I can press the appointment and then we'll see what it gives me. Maybe it'll default, but I think not. I'm going to press it and I'm going to see what happens. Okay. This is just how we roll. December 9 at 11 a.m. Right. So this is 11 a.m. Eastern time or 1 p.m. Eastern time. So this is basically now in Pacific. So I just want to see where it's going to send it. And then I'll show you what it is with the service territory because I'm expecting this. We'll see. Maybe this is part of the reason why it's not calculating. Okay. 4 p.m. 2 to 4 p.m. View service appointment. Okay, so it is 3 p.m. Eastern time. Where did it go? Oh, it did go to San Francisco. Okay, let's see what it did. Okay, let's look. Where did it put it on the Gantt? Ah, yes. Weird. Right. Eastern time. This is happens all the time. And this is why it's friendly to have your dispatchers, right, like have the translated time for your dispatchers because this whole doing math right now is exhausting. I really don't want to use my brain like this. Just don't. So that worked. So it did schedule it in the context, even though none was set for the service territory. I guess it inherited it from the work order. Let's see. Do I have the territory on the work order? No, I don't know. Why was it so? Oh, I have polygons on this. I just created one. That's why. I just created one. So that's why it worked. If I disconnect the polygon from the territory, um, none. Save. Okay, let's do one more. So I guess that's the power of polygon. You just saw it right there. Book appointment. We'll create a new one. Right. Territory is none. Let's see what happens. Okay, so 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Now all of a sudden I think it's in Eastern time, right? Before it was 11 and 1 because it was in the context of San Francisco. The polygon mapped it to the right service territory that had operating hours. But now I don't have a territory, so let's see where it schedules it. So it's still 3 p.m., but before I select 11 to 1. Okay. No service territory in the appointment. And the scheduled start was for 4:30 p.m. Who did this go to? Oh, it still went to Gloria Barnes. That's pretty friendly. Um, I guess because I'm already on site, it's the same work order. It's just a new service appointment. So yeah, now the local time is 1:30. How did it find it without a territory, do you think, Farsha?
Sorry, I didn't follow that, Lian.
So the service appointment doesn't have a service territory.
Mm-hmm. And
How
its
did
work
it?
order also doesn't.
Correct. And the work order also doesn't. How was it smart enough to know to schedule it to Gloria Barnes when
Maybe
match
the default
territory?
maybe the default territory that related preference that we set. I'm just assuming. I need to see if that's the reason.
I don't know.
There
How do
is
we,
a
how do you,
setting, right? Somewhere,
where?
it's somewhere where we have appointment booking settings and emergency settings. Don't we set a default territory somewhere? I've seen
I
it.
didn't, did you? I don't think,
Or maybe it was, I'm mixing it up with operating hours. Uh,
yeah.
yeah. No, I need to see why.
Yeah. So it's using customer first
And
policy.
Gloria Barnes territory, is it like the first territory that was created in that org?
Good question. I don't
I, I,
know.
I'm just looking at straws here now.
For sure. I mean, I don't know why. Like, it's like, yay, it worked. But also, how?
Yeah.
How did you be so smart? Oh, these are service resources, Leanne. All service territories, last modified date. I want the created date. That's one thing with this product. There's a lot of magic. Oh, fine, whatever you want. There's a lot of magic that happens behind the scenes that you might not know the reason why, and that was just one of them. I have no freaking idea how it was so smart. Created date, 8/28. It might have been one of the first. Yeah, it might have been one of the first. So we could try one for another
Mm-hmm.
region and see. Let's just, very interesting. So let's change from service admin to the console. I can create some data. Sweet. Okay, work type. It doesn't really matter. Maintenance territory, we'll make it in the east. Do I have somebody in the east?
You have any type
No.
of preference on the accounts, Leanne?
Do I have what preference?
Do you have any preference, like, that information is
Oh,
specified somewhere on the account, maybe?
right, 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 right,
But
right,
I know
right,
there is no
right.
default field, like nothing comes out of the box. If you want it, you need to, like, the closest that you can get is the operating hours.
Yeah. Let's see. I might have had these are lines. These are 3 appointments. I don't have a resource preference on this work order. Let's try it just for kicks. I'm gonna go candidates. Let's try it out. Let's see what happens. Create a new. Let's see what candidates it provides. Because maybe there's some other rule because it can't match on territory, so it's matching on something else. So let's not go down this path. Let's go down the policy path. Customer first. What are our rules? So active, designated work. So it's just about time. Maybe it's, so we don't have excluded on here. I don't have resource preference or required resource. I don't have a drive time. No, there's no drive time driving this.
Hmm.
Skills, capacity. I don't
Yeah,
know.
these
Let's
are
just see.
standard ones. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody is available. Is that true? Auto. Yeah, right? Like I think for some reason that was just dumb luck.
I've seen that behavior in the past, Leanne, but didn't have the time to go in and investigate it as to how it
Yeah,
thinks. But one of the reasons
Bumble
that
is
I
here.
suspected was whatever was created first.
Maybe yes.
Yeah.
And it just was dumb luck because I was scheduling in the that time zone, right? But as you see here, if I'm looking at candidates, I can select Bumble, who is not in the right territory that I was expecting. So I could schedule it to Bumble, I could schedule it to Los Angeles. I could get like so Happy Otto and Tony Stark. Yeah, there they are. What's interesting about this, so there's a lot that's not wonderful about the dispatcher console. I mean, the global action. I would like to know what territory they're in. The fact, like, mind you, the grade is very low for this resource, right? So, although I could do it, okay, this is messed up. Okay, this is graded very high. So let's choose it, and then let's see the travel time on it. Oh, you have
Does,
to press save.
if you do the candidates through the dispatch console, it might also tell us why it's grading it higher, right?
True. Yes, true. So I sent it to Bumble, right? Was that even the right approach? Because what is your address? I should have chose somebody further away. Oh, yeah, that was the wrong one. Sorry. My bad. Let's do it again. I think it was this one. Yes. So we want to reschedule it and let's see what we got. Oh, didn't put it on. Okay. So let's choose somebody from Los Angeles. Let's see if Pam Lawson is here. No. Jane Austen. Okay, so interesting. Zach Acme, Alexander. Interesting. There's something smart still happening here that I don't know if we have control over because Acme territory, where is their service territory address? Related. Right. It's in San Francisco as well. So it somehow is smart enough to know I need this to be in San Francisco. So at least, so let's just choose
What is your logged
candidates.
in users
Eastern.
time zone? Eastern. Okay.
Yeah. Hide. This is not candidates not found. Let's go to this one. I guess because it's in jeopardy. Let's go to candidates. Interesting. So yeah, it even filtered the ones that wouldn't qualify. And then now it's grading it. So the reason what you're saying here, when you hover over this or click, you have to click on the eye. The reason why it got 0 scores is because ASAP is 0 and minimized travel is 0. Bumble was graded high because of minimized travel and then resource priority. Let's look at Jane Austen, right? Probably minimized travel is quite far.
Does the appointment have an address, Leanne?
Oh, yeah. It's right around, it's right near Salesforce Park.
So that maybe it's the minimized travel, or like,
Yeah,
those rules playing a role, because the
that's what it seems like.
resources, yeah.
There was a resource availability. There was a maximum travel, so it's not this one. And I don't have a maximum drive rule either. So it's not that rule that's causing it. It's because then the the policies grade it. It's not the filtering piece. So something about it is still smart.
It's like everybody is a candidate, but now let me go in and see who can reach earliest. And because the addresses are close by, it says, okay, I can go ahead and schedule it to Gloria, like it did earlier.
Yeah, well, it's not saying everybody's a candidate because all of the East Coast people were filtered
Uh-huh.
out, right? Scott and
Ooh,
Pepper were
okay.
filtered out, right? So the moment that I hit, and even Los Angeles filtered out.
And their addresses, like what's the
Let's look.
addresses on the
Yeah, let's
resources? Like,
validate.
are they right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, let's look. I don't know. Related, Los Angeles. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So somehow it
So
knows this is the maximum I can actually make somebody go. I'm wondering if it is the, the map configuration, the routing configuration we specify on the field service settings. There is something around it, right?
let's see. We
But we
totally took a
don't.
left turn, and I love this little rabbit hole that we're in. So, but basically, the bottom line is you can schedule in the context of your time zone. You just got to set it up properly. Now we're getting into what happens if I don't define the service territory because sloppy data happens all the time. So now we're on this rabbit hole to find out why was it smart enough to filter it based off of the address location? It's mapping on address, not service territory. Wait, yeah, I'm on match territory. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, so what were you thinking here?
Yeah, there is something around where we go ahead and say routing. So there are 2 to 3 configurations which play a role. One is this avoid aerial. What was that? Avoid
On
aerial
call out.
routing. No, no, I think in the previous configuration that you were in, go to general logic.
Huh?
You
Avoid
see that?
aerial calc. Yes.
I think this could be the one taking effect. It's like, the setting here, it's not very clear, but it does play a role into it thinking, can I take an aerial route or not?
hmm Yes, maybe. Let's untick the box and let's see what we get.
Yeah. Like, do those people now are shown as candidates, right?
Exactly. So let's just refresh this in case it just needs it. And then, so what we experienced before was this service appointment that has no service territory. So the match territory rule is null, right? That cannot take effect. Um, we're wondering why it was smart enough to hit here. And it seems like our hypothesis right now is that it is because San Francisco was maybe the first territory created, and there's a default logic saying if. But what we did find was when we pressed get candidates, all of the San Francisco based resources were the only candidates found. So right now, let's just see. Okay, so again, happened again. East Coast is gone, Los Angeles is gone. It has filtered it to say, okay, well, here's everybody that's in San Francisco who can do this job.
Hmm.
That's fancy. What magic was that? It's
I have
almost,
seen
yeah, go ahead.
I have seen that configuration play a role, like, or giving some trouble, when you're
Uh-huh.
trying to expose appointment booking, but maybe through an external portal. And you're kind of trying to mimic this whole book appointment window, and you cannot expose it right away. It does give trouble when you're trying to book, but I never could understand by reading at it or its description in the help article as to exactly what it's doing.
Correct. Yeah, because calculating the street level routing takes a lot of resources, like
Mm-hmm.
performance resources, right? And so it will take time to calculate the travel. So we do end up delaying that by,
Mm.
how did we delay that? We just did, we effectively create the service appointment and then do the travel calculations after, or something like that. I'd have to dig in the crates to see what we recommended in the past. Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's some magic there. Who knew? Very, very interesting. Because based off of what we know, a scheduling policy is what drives the resources you can select. And the first thing it does is it looks at the work rules to eliminate resources if it's not a hard yes. Yes, it does match. And it follows and logic. Those resources must be a yes to all of these. So why Varsha and I are perplexed is because match territory is here, and we are expecting the service appointment service territory to match exactly the service resource territory in order to combine them, which then therefore means, right? Actually, this is interesting, right? These are a lot of resources. When we do have a match territory hit, we have only these ones that are surfacing, right? All the other ones aren't a consideration. So there was one customer that I had that would love this idea, but what they wanted to map on was um, skills across levels. Like the way that they created their territories was a hierarchy based off of their knowledge of a product, and then we finally convinced them by their time zone. And he was saying that their sort order is, I want you to find everybody in the whole world that can perform this task. And I would rather have you do it based off of the cost to serve. That's the value I want you to filter on. And we were like, I can't give you that rule because you can't create custom work rules. But this is basically like saying, I'm giving you everybody in the San Francisco geographic area without mapping it. I wonder, do you think it's because I have a um what if I delete this polygon?
I'm also thinking if say for example there are neighboring territories, right?
Yeah.
And the time zone changes between them,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Now, and there's something like this runs, it goes by the address, goes in and schedules. Now the time that is calculated is not correct.
Oh, wait. Run that again.
I know it's a very corner case that I'm talking about, but
Yeah, but that's okay.
two,
Run it again.
two territories, neighboring
Yeah.
territories,
Yeah.
but say for example between Ontario and Quebec, right?
Okay.
They are neighboring territories. Ontario follows a different time zone, Quebec follows a different time zone, right?
Okay.
We are looking at a job which is somewhere in Ontario, but just at the border of Ontario and Quebec.
Yeah.
And somebody who is in Quebec, so if it goes by addresses, it says, oh, this person I can go ahead and schedule. But now all the times that are calculated, they would be messed up because now the time zone, it doesn't know where to bring the time zone from. Or I
It
think it will prefer one over another.
Yes, so it is from my understanding, it will bring the time zone of where the work is being performed. So if it's in Eastern time and the tech is in Atlantic time, right? It's whatever the neighboring border is.
Yeah, but it
Then,
uses the territory from the work order, right? Work order or appointment. But if both of them don't have it, like what happens then? What does it do?
yeah, if both of them don't have it. What do we do? I don't know. We're gonna find out. Let's find out. Let's find out. Okay, so here's one. There's no right, exactly. Well, it's still ultimately well, see here, here's the lie. Here is the lie. Because the service territory is null, and yet it's on the dispatcher console for San Francisco. So why didn't the service territory get populated after I scheduled it? So technically, the
But there is
service
no
territory,
automation, right? To
I thought that
auto-populate
there
it?
would be, like, you know how sometimes where you
Yeah.
like, I thought that would be an automation, but there's not. Okay, let's just press the button. We gave it enough Mississippis to see if it'll filter it. No, it has nothing to do with the polygon. I deleted the polygon. There's some other magic that's happening here. It's like opening it up. And again, like, why? How is it smart enough? What rule is making it smart enough? So, okay, let's just go through it. Am I active? Yes or no? That's literally the box on the service resource is true. Active equals true. Designated work equals true. That's actually on a time slot, isn't it? And we haven't even really configured this rule because not all the fields are on here. Okay, I'm gonna run away from this as fast as possible because there's a lot that isn't working about that one. Do you think that pass empty values also needs to be considered for the service territory, match territory? This is what saved us last time, Varsha.
Yeah, but with that one, I have seen this. The typical symptom is that when you're trying to schedule appointment, it doesn't respect the earliest
The
start and
times.
due date. Yeah. So two different use cases, I feel.
Okay. 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 The capacity limit rule. This is new. Again, that's not and should not be related. So I think passing the empty values should be true for all date time fields. Is that correct?
I would say so, like, that's something that I now take care of. Like, if I'm planning to use the earliest start and due date, which we usually do, I do make sure that, it's in a good
Hmm.
place.
I'm wondering, is there something populated here that's just not on the page layout? Like, I don't think we care about that. Evaluation order, again, I don't think we care about that. Service property territory, start before. No. Well, I guess it's one of those mysteries that might have to remain unsolved for today. But some people may enjoy that feature and capability worked. But okay, so then again, to your point, now if I scheduled that work to so I can't I mean I can drag and drop, but I'm still in the West Coast. But if I dragged and dropped this to the East Coast, do I have anybody on the East Coast that's available? Okay, West, West. Oh, nobody's available because I think I was playing with shifts or something like that. Okay, so this is the East, right? The local time got updated properly. So it's still taking the service territory into context, but I think the caveat is you must schedule on the dispatcher console in order to get that benefit. Yeah, very interesting. All right, any closing remarks from anybody? Did you have fun today?
Not for me. Could not help with the magic. I was like, what is it?
Right, but you see that too, right? How did it become so smart?
I'll take it. It's good practice for, what's coming.
Yeah.
Trust it. Trust it.
It's a trusted, but then our recent mantra has been trust but verify. So this is me trying to verify what am I putting my
Exactly.
trust in right now?
Well, you're trusting that the data that it has is it's using its, the thinking.
Yeah,
This is what we've been working towards.
And also a big caveat to consider is usually we try to make sure that we don't run into these kind of scenarios. Like on a work order appointment, that is mandatory because we want it to be predictable,
correct. Yeah, correct.
Great point.
So, and then if you don't know it, that's where the map
Mhm.
polygons help assign the territory automatically because of the zip
Yeah.
code mapping. This record has been created within the confines of that polygon, and therefore now I can auto set it. So that's why that polygon capability was set up.
Mm.
So to simplify that, and I thought there was one setting to map those polygon utils.
Yeah, it's somewhere around where we have the service appointment life cycle. I think it's there, the first
Hmm.
page. Use polygons to assign service territories.
Yes, perfect. It's there. And then the territory assignment policy. Okay, so this is where we have to think about it because if I do have a child and it is tied to the right, like I do want to assign it to the lowest level because like let's just see, what's this? Depending on your settings. I haven't played with this, but the use case is, and we're at 2 minutes over, 2 minutes until, but the use case is I start off with my parent time zone territory, but then I want it to drill down to the specific sub territory because there's a particular person that might need to pick that up because within that time zone territory I've got 3 or 4 people that I've separated the child territories to. So, Varsha, you would do, one corner of that territory, Ben would do another corner, and Lisa would do another corner. And I would want to make sure that it's mapped to the right child territory. But then if I've got 3 children, how does it know which of the third? I would have to do something custom for that. Either store the service territory at the customer level, at the account level, and then after the work order is created, after we've assigned the primary territory for scheduling purposes only, then I update after save flow, update the service territory that's been set at the account. Anyways, some things to look forward to. All right, so I think that's it for today. Thank you, everybody. And I will talk to you all next time. Have a great week.
Thank you. Great session.
Thank you
Bye.
all.
Bye.